In Invincible, while Oliver is trying to fight against Thragg and buy some time for Terra to escape this ambush, elsewhere we see as Adam, Eve, and Mark both take on the Children of Thragg one-on-one, and we pick up on Adam Eve trying to survive against Thragg's daughter, Ursaal. Ursaal tells Eve that she's been selected to die by the Viltrumite Empire, so she needs to just accept it. But before she can finish her sentence, Eve manifests a diver's helmet on her head as a momentary distraction, allowing her to run into the house and try to think of a strategy. It doesn't take long for Ursaal to break this helmet apart, rushing into the house and destroying everything she can see to try and find Eve. However, it's at that moment where suddenly Eve reveals that she was actually hiding in the floor as she tries to wrap Ursaal up with her powers. But it fails. Even though the daughter of Thragg does say that Eve's powers are impressive, but they can't do this forever. Sooner or later, this fight is going to end in the Viltrumite's favor. Eve continues to basically just throw random bullshit at the girl. However, she realizes that as much as Ursaal is boasting and telling her to just lie down and die, the girl isn't actually going for the kill, causing Eve to ask her what she's waiting for as Ursaal punches her out of the house and continues her little speech. It's at this point where Eve realizes she just has to keep fighting as long as she can until something changes. But what about Mark's fight? Well, against Onan, Mark instantly tries to bite his arm off, but gets a solid punch to the head. As each time he tries to escape, the son of Thragg either grabs or sinks into his back to keep Mark from going. However, Mark gets his own hits in also, leaving one of Onan's eyes completely closed. This allows Mark to fly back to Eve right as she uses a pair of glowing swords to send Ursaal flying, and when Mark gets there, he grabs Ursaal by the neck and slams her into the ground, taking her out of this battle. At that moment, Mark and Eve head to where Terra is, with Mark stopping on the way to pick up Thragg's son by the neck as they arrive just in time to see Thragg and Terra sitting next to the body of Oliver. But not even having a chance to comment on that, Mark shouts from the sky that Thragg has his daughter, but Mark has Thragg's son, so the two of them can end this here if they just make a trade. But Mark is tired. It's not like he's physically exhausted, but all of this has just been going on way too long. Thragg looks up at Mark and says, "Do you really want me to believe my son is in any danger right now? Not only was your brother working for me as a spy, which shows me just how useless you and him are, but you specifically fight for the side of good. You fight for what's right, and being a hero has always been your weakness." Well, it's at that point where Mark makes one of the easiest decisions he's ever made in the entire Invincible comic, as right there in front of Thragg, he simply squeezes his hand and pops Onan's head right off, instantly killing the boy as he says being a hero is bullshit, before he throws the body of Thragg's son right at him, and the two of them begin to fight as Eve tries to heal Terra. But things are about to go really bad for everyone involved next.